What is up, guys? It's your boy No Risk, No Premium, back with another episode of the Market Overview, guys. Today we got the sell right into our 52.72, pretty much to close the day out on the candle. You guys can see it here, kind of a do or die bounce here now. Zone for ES specifically, but let's check the economic data really quick. We know we got continuous jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as GDP sales, pending home sales 30 minutes after the open. So don't forget about that. We've got pretty big data tomorrow morning, and then we do have the PCE data all coming on Friday. So 2 days back to back. Just be ready for more data, as we really haven't had any this week thus far. Let's go to the charts here now. Looking at the daily, we can see 52.72, how big that area is going to be. Currently underneath it, and I think the game plan is solely going to be pretty much about if we open underneath it, if we open up underneath this 52.72, right? I'm gonna look for rejects, right? If we open up underneath them, look for rejects to take this thing back down lower, ideally back into this demand you guys can see back over here, right? Being about 42.45, 42, maybe even down to 42.40. Okay, so good amount of downside here. Now, if we get back up, if we open up back above it before the open tomorrow, we'll look to take that dip trade to buy the long side of trade back up here. I know that was kind of zoomed out, but really easy to see. If we open up below, going to look for this reject here, see if we can make it back down further. If we open up above, look for the dip into that to hold and to get long and strong. From there, NQ not really breaking that retest of its all-time high, right? So this structurally saying the NQ chart is stronger than the ES chart. Absolutely, but I would favor for some sort of bounce to happen around the 18,650, right? 18,650. That's where I'm going to be looking for the bounce to 18,600, 18,650. Should we get down there? Really no cause for concern unless we get underneath about 18,000, 550-ish. If we get underneath that, then there will be much, much, much bigger sell from there. But NQ, not as much trouble as ES is right now. I'm going to be watching SPY here now. SPY filling its gap on the daily. So you see the gap here, 523.80-ish. Going to the daily chart here. As you can see, wow, that's not what I wanted. Excuse me. There is a gap to fill here on the daily. Let me actually zoom this in a little better. Now they're filling it after hours. Does that mean, cash open people are going to be pissed? I don't know what that means, but what I do know is it is getting filled currently in the after hours. So 523.80-ish is the bottom of that gap, called 524. Going down to a 4-hour chart here, you could easily see that is getting filled. So if we open up under 424, going to be the same, or 524, going to be the same thing. I look for a reject into it. Much, much lower from there. Going to look at 521 first and then 518 from there. So underneath, look for the dip, look for the rip back into 524. If we fail, look to go lower on the short side. Now, if we pop back up over the open, above that 425, we're just going to look for that dip to hold and to likely take this thing back on up higher. That's the game plan there on SPY Guy. Looking at QQQ here now. Like I said, not really cause for concerns. It's still above its previous all-time highs from a structure standpoint. Now looking at the actual chart here, let me zoom this thing over. 451 bounce area, right? You can look at 453 first, but 451, that's a major bounce area. Not really cause for concern unless we lose that 449, right? 449 being the previous all-time high over there. So unless we lose that area, still structurally think we could see a bounce. But ideally, bulls want to step in at about 451.50 at the lowest, in my opinion. Okay. So same thing here. You're just going to want to watch for a bounce here on QQQ. And last but not least, that's not IWM. That's IWM. I am looking for the gap fill bounce on IWM here. Okay, lots of balance up here. I'm watching to see if we can get this gap fill and bounce. So at 200, going to be looking to take the long side of trade. Could buy 2 weeks out there. Really liking this trade setup here so far. Small balance. See if we can just retest this balance and move back on higher. So 200 is going to be the zone tomorrow to watch should we get down there. All right, guys. Other than that, you got to wake up early, get your levels right, and of course, not do anything fucking stupid. We'll see you bright and early. Peace.